Hi, I'm Greg Hunter. This is the weekly news wrap up, the WNW 205 for Friday, August 28th, 2015, the last weekly news wrap up of the month. And to say that the stock market was on a roller coaster ride this past week is a huge understatement. I just want to kind of show you some of the headlines. I mean, you start out 1,000-point sell-off. That's what started out on Monday, on the heels of a terrible week before, Thursday and Friday. And then you go on to, Wall Street not convinced that the correction, just a correction. That's what I want to share. It's just a correction. The fundamentals are great, it's just correcting. And then we see, the stock market rally roars, 620 points. Oh, yeah, hey, oh, well, crisis passed. And then the next day it's up another 300 points. And then they get to, the Fed may have an excuse to hold onto that rate rise. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that shouldn't disturb anybody that we've had 0% interest rates for going into our seventh year pretty soon. 0%. The economy is so strong that we've got 0% interest rates, and we have phony accounting, suspended accounting by FASB, the Financial Accounting Standards Board, where you can value assets, quote unquote, at whatever you think you can sell them for in the future. Yeah, fantasy accounting, not mark to market like the IRS does, where they say, what's that asset worth today? Fantasy accounting and tons of QE and money printing and 0% interest rates. And this is some sort of a normal market. And then the financial press on Tuesday when this thing was crashing, even last week, buying opportunity. Oh, it's just a blip. This is just a correction, that you would think that, we had full employment and we had zero debt and, we were inventing the internet all over again. And, no, just a correction. My sources say none of that's true. I'm going to be booking Charles Nenner, the great market analyst, and his people said, "Oh no, this is a pre-crash." And Charles Nenner says the big one's on its way. This is the setup crash. Jim Sinclair said the same thing this past week. He said it was we won't get through September. That was his words, without the real crash coming. And Gregory Mannarino also says the same thing. And I'm going to toot his horn. Back in May, he said, "Oh, the market topped." He did that with analysis and charts. And he provided a chart which showed the 2001 and then the 2008 market peak, and then now it's way higher. And I think it's topping. And that was a couple of thousand points ago on the Dow. And, for everybody to think that this is a one-and-done deal, Mannarino says, that never happens. I'll send you a chart. Let me show you what 2008 and 2009, the crash, looked like. That was really a 6-month crash. And if you look right here, here's September of 2008, basically. And it starts getting into look at that bing, 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 trouble. And then all of a sudden, boom, the big crash. And then you get this, these crazy gyrations up and down to March of 2009. This is September 2008, March of 2009. This is a process. That's what Mannarino wanted to say. Hey, man, this is a process. And he also has some other big chartable warning signs, and I'll have him up next week as well. But this is what a crash really looks like. This is what the 2008 crash looks like. This is more about what you see. And also, I want to bring up the global forces surrounding the American economy, the dollar, are huge. Remember all this debt that China has? Well, they're liquefying some of that debt. They're selling Treasury bonds. They confirmed it. They sold it. One Zero Hedge story talked about how this is really QE in reverse. I thought that was an excellent piece of analysis by ZeroHedge.com. QE in reverse. And the QE could spike interest rates. Where'd you hear that before? Alan Greenspan, former Fed head, 2 weeks ago, said, the bond market could melt down. It's in a bubble, and this could spike interest rates. This is also on the lines of economist John Williams at shadowstats.com. He keeps bringing up the fact that nobody brings up that there's more than 16 trillion liquid U.S. dollar assets, Treasury bonds and stuff like that, held outside the country. And what happens if other countries holding Treasury bonds see China dumping debt to stabilize their economy and their yuan? In short, they need some cash. And they want to stabilize their currency and their economy. What happens if other countries start dumping U.S. Treasury bonds Oh, the Fed's going to liquefy, big chunks of that, trillions of dollars. I don't think all of it will go, but 2, 3, 4 trillion. What happens then? Are they going to liquefy another 3 or 4 trillion, blow their balance sheet up from 4.5 trillion to 8.5 trillion? Are they going to default? I mean, who knows? But let me tell you, this is historical precedent. Jim Sinclair said it. Jim Rogers first said it. Other people have said that this is historical. This is off the charts. This has never been this much debt. This has never happened before. So, John Williams says that's how the hyperinflation starts. Everybody sell U.S. debt, and most of it's outside the country, and then what? Hyperinflation is what John Williams says, and hyperinflation could happen in a hurry. The beginnings of hyperinflation at anything. We'll have John Williams on to start off the week next week as well. John Williams at shadowstats.com. Next up, Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton says that she made a bad choice. Isn't that a lovely phrase? I made a bad choice. Hey, Bernie Madoff made a bad choice. He went to prison. Hey, General Petraeus, the former head of the CIA, made a bad choice with his documents. He was, doing a book and was sleeping with his biographer and had some papers that should have been handled differently in a desk drawer, and he paid a $100,000 fine and barely escaped a prison sentence on 2 years probation. He had to plead guilty to a felony. And Hillary Clinton made a bad choice, using a private server while she was at the State Department, and all of her staff using her private server while she was at State Department. And that to me is a bit outrageous that she just made a bad choice. Yet the mainstream press, and here's the story out this week, secrets routinely sent, by email, U.S. secret. Condoleezza Rice had a few emails, and they had some confidential, classified information. Hillary Clinton says that she didn't know, didn't send classified information, was allowed to do the server, but she made a bad choice. General Petraeus had to plead guilty to a felony. He did not imperil the U.S. national security. Hillary Clinton broke more than at least one law that analysts say that she broke, and analysts allege that she has imperiled U.S. national security, that she put the U.S. national security interests at risk. How about Ambassador Stevens at Benghazi? We find out that his travel schedule went through Hillary Clinton's server. Was that hacked? Did they know where he was and when he was going to be somewhere? Who knows? And then this is the server that was magically wiped clean by somebody at Hillary Rodham Clinton's, in her camp, because evidently it was wiped clean. That's what the reports are. I don't know if the FBI can go back and find all this stuff. I've had tech people write in saying, I don't care who wiped what, the FBI can find stuff on that server. We shall see. Which brings us to Hillary Clinton made bad choices. Really? That's going to get you off the hook? I made a bad choice. This is why Joe Biden, you're hearing rumblings about him getting into the presidential race. Why didn't he get in months ago? He should have got in months ago. Why did he do that? Because none of this stuff came up. And can you imagine Joe Biden, who was first elected to the Senate when he was 29 years old? You think he has a few connections in Washington that will tell him how much trouble Hillary Clinton really is in? How bad it really is for Hillary Clinton? And remember, these stories supposedly leaked out from the Obama White House, Valerie Jarrett, with the private server, and also the Clinton Foundation, which hasn't really been fully explored. Congress is on vacation until the middle of September. But do you think that the Democrats are that stupid that they aren't freaking out? They're thinking, if she does win the nomination, she's going to, be up against Donald Trump. Do you know what Donald Trump will do to Hillary Clinton in a debate? He will shred her. It'd be like fighting an octopus. He'll hit her from every angle. The Democrats know this. Do you think the Democrats are going to take a chance that big? And that's what I was talking about with President Obama. Do you think that President Obama is going to allow her to control the Justice Department after the stuff he's dumped on her head? And again, I'll say it again, if he wanted a legitimate excuse to derail her, he's got one. I'll be surprised if she's not charged. I won't be surprised if she's never president. I still say she will never be president. She'll probably be out before the first debate next year, the first Democratic debate next year. We shall see. The White House is pushing hard for votes in the Iran nuclear deal. Obama is picking up some votes. He's got 28 senators. I mean, this whole thing should have been a treaty in the Senate. And the reason why it's not a treaty in the Senate because President Obama knew full well he'd never get this thing through. He'd never get it through. The Senate is a treaty, so it's some other crazy deal. And what's insulting? The president himself came out along with John Kerry about it's about verification, and we find the Iranians they can verify their own, pick up their own soil samples. The side deal is that there's no verification. Come on, stop. They get to test for themselves. Really. And this is a country that has recommitted to Hamas. Hamas, it's their stated goal to destroy Israel. It is Iran's goal to destroy Israel. I mean, for years I've been told, this is a misquote. No, Iran didn't say they wanted to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. No, the Supreme Leader just wrote a book about destroying them. And, the top management in Iran has said the destruction of Israel is unnegotiable. It's not negotiable. So listen, this deal where there's no verification, and now everybody knows it. The Saudis know it, the Israelis know it, the Pakistanis know it. Everybody knows there's in the Sunni Arab world, there's no verification. This is just going to, turbocharge the prospects for war. It's going to kick it into high gear. And then you have Pakistan. There's a new report out saying, within 10 years, they'll be the third largest owner of nuclear weapons arsenal. Their nuclear weapons arsenal would be the third biggest. And they already have a fairly good-sized nuclear weapons arsenal at the moment. And Saudi Arabia, they've been saying for a couple of years, I've reported this several times, they've said in published reports, we want a nuke. We want nuclear weapons. There's also some scuttlebutt that they help fund some of Pakistan's nuclear program. And they are very close to Pakistan, the Saudis. So, listen, this whole Iran nuclear deal is a lie and a sham. It's a complete lie and a sham. And Chris Christie was opining about how Obama was using pork to buy Democrat votes. Well, surprise! There's 28 Democrats, and they need 34, President Obama, 34 Democrats to override it. This is a close one, folks. I don't know. I can't call this one. I mean, any thinking person would say, whoa, hold on. You said you were going to be able to verify. Yeah, no, not so much. No, we can't verify anything. We're not going to verify. It's a sham. It's a scam. It's a lie. It's a total duping of the American people. It's a total duping, a monkey spank game where Kerry's flying back and forth and we'll walk away from the negotiations. And how are we verifying that? I don't have access to that. I don't know. That's a side deal. What? That's not the central core of the deal? That really? So, I don't know. Well, we'll see. I mean, the Senate gets back in. They vote on this, I think, around the 15th or 17th of September. We'll see. But maybe he can buy the votes and ramrod it through and have his, his national or his foreign policy victory, which would have done without some major lying by he and his staff, President Obama. It's outrageous. One of the last stories I want to bring up is the former advisor to UK Prime Minister Gordon Brown. His name is Damien McBride, and he says that you should stock up on tinned goods, in other words, canned goods, and bottled water. He also says you should have some, let me read this, hard cash in a safe place because, you can't count on the banks being open. Whoa! This is a former advisor to a former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, Gordon Brown. Really? And you should buy canned food, bottled water, and get some cash, hoard some cash at home because, the banks might not be open. That tells me that things are coming to a head fairly soon. And at least a few of these elites have a conscience so they can, warn people. But, who knows how many people will take the warning. People are just in a complete, total state of denial as to how bad things are. Sometimes I wish I didn't know what I knew. I didn't know what I know. But he's warning. This is a former Gordon Brown advisor, Damien McBride, is get canned food, bottled water, and cash. because the banks may not be working. The ATMs may not work. So the event that's coming is not going to be just a UK event. It's going to be a global event because the whole banking system is tied together. And when one big bank goes, it could be will be a daisy chain effect. That'll go pretty quickly. And I want to just hit this story. I Googled Jerry Brown, Governor Jerry Brown, to see Jerry Brown and water. Jerry Brown, what's he doing about the drought? He had 3 years of drought. 3.5 years, and it wasn't until last year, mid-year or so, that he finally declared it a state of emergency. There's an emergency. Whoa! It only took you more than 3 years to say, "Wow, this is a problem." And I Googled what he's doing. Did nothing. Oh, they cut water use by 31%. Take a look at this map. Now this is America, and here's what I want you to focus on. Look at the West. Oh my goodness! Then look at down here. Look at here. Well, there's a problem. When Arizona and New Mexico, two typically dry states, so dry they got cactus there. There's a problem when Washington State, parts of Idaho and Montana and Oregon have more drought than these two states down here. And in California, Nevada also terrible. And Utah is not doing so great either, but not nearly. Look at ground zero here, California. There is not an inch. Look at that. There is not an inch, a square centimeter that isn't in some sort of drought, and the yellow is the weakest drought. Maybe there's a little here, but this red is the worst of it, and it's a huge swath of California. This is where 38 million people live, and Jerry Brown is doing nothing. Oh, he's bringing up climate change. Oh, that's good, as you're thirsting to death, that you can say, well, it's that dang climate change. Oh, thanks, Governor Brown. Thanks for telling me it's about climate change. Maybe it's about geoengineering. Who knows? But this is severe problems out in California, and I worry about my fellow citizens in the state of California. And I want to say it again. NASA in March said we've got about a year's worth of water left in California. About a year's worth. That was in March. That's the way I see it. I'm Greg Hunter. Thank you so much for all your comments. Thank you for your donations. And remember, fear not. Prepare yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. Fear not. God's in charge.